Good morning and happy Monday. My name is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guide's tip of the day this December 18th, 2023. Today's tip comes from Show the Brief by Bill Bailey. Bill is here to read it today along with his brother Robert, who co-wrote Show the Story with him. Bill, Robert, thank you for being here. Bill, will you read today's tip, please?
I sure will, Michael, and good morning. Thank you. Briefs are our best shot to tell the judge why we should win and why our opponent should lose. The court's ruling is driven by our case story and how it plays within the judge's life experience, values, and understanding of the law.
Wow. So story in a brief is as important as story at trial. We as trial lawyers, I love trial. I think of story for trial, and we should be thinking that in our briefs too. That's what your book's about, right?
That's right, Michael. And one of the things I've studied since leaving 40 years in the trenches trying cases to being a full-time teacher, which is in law school, which is kind of like being a stranger in a strange land. The students are wonderful. So that's the big carrot on the stick for me. And they're really excited about going out and trying cases. But there is no sense ever presented in law school about who the judge is. It's just this mysterious, mythical, powerful person in a black robe. And it's so important as a writer, as a speaker, to know who your audience is and how to get that case story going. There's only one study on judicial behavior, how they actually make decisions. This shouldn't come as a surprise to any of us. Judges are very gut instinct oriented. Daniel Kahneman's work, Thinking Fast and Slow, is a brilliant book that every trial lawyer should read. Talks about system one, decisions from the gut, fast and overpowering. System two, logical and thoughtful, and their role is more to rationalize our gut instincts. So as I've had this opportunity to study judges as human beings, the curtain has been raised, and what we've got is an ordinary human being, just like the rest of us, who responds to stories just like the rest of us. But most of the time, we miss the target. In our written work, and sadly in our oral work before juries, why does this really matter now? When I first started trying cases a long time ago, it was no big deal to go to trial. There was no headwind against trying cases. Now, judges, state and federal, consider trials wasteful. They've come up with all these rules, mandatory arbitration and mediation. And so we're seeing more and more decisions on paper. The number of summary judgment motions filed is way up by the defense. The number of Daubert motions to try and keep experts out, way up. And once judges make decisions, we pull them back because appellate courts don't want to get into the business of second guessing. So we can be put out of business by motions. Critical evidence can be kept out. So we have got to get that story before the judge, get them emotionally involved. And that's why images are what does that, not words. If we use manipulative words that call the defendant names or whatever, judges don't like that. But as psychologists have shown, images, we believe, judges will find fault with our arguments, but images go to a different part of the brain. And there's this mountain of research that I only talk about the very skim the surface in the book, is that you show a judge a photo that advances your story in the actual brief, And I've done this for 30 years, by the way. I first started filing illustrated briefs in 1992. So that's our best chance to get the judge hooked. So when this big ruling is coming up, our story is real and important. So this is what motivated me to write the book, is the shift away from the courtroom. Judges have more power, and we're still writing the way lawyers did in the 19th century.
Yeah,
which
this is
blows my mind.
the visual society. I try to put images in my briefs, and I've started, and I probably got it from you or hearing Robert years ago. I'll put photos in my complaints. Why not? And I'm
Exactly.
curious, Robert. You consult with lawyers. Usually, lawyers wait until before trial to consult. I'm curious, do you get people that consult with you early enough that you can help with the story in the briefs? And if not, should they be doing so?
They should be doing so, Michael. And, one of the problems that I see over and over when someone sends me a brief to look at is the visuals have all been separated from the pages of the brief, and they're at the tail end, and they're referred to in the brief. Go to, Exhibit A in the addendum. And that is just a sacrilege to someone like Bill and myself, because the power is, and this probably goes back to our love of comic books as children, the power is the combination of reading the fact in the fact pattern and then immediately seeing the visual that makes that fact, as Bill was saying, express in a totally different way. And the brain takes it in a different way. It takes the narrative, written narrative, in another way. But the two together make something bigger than any one of them by themselves.
Absolutely. Robert.
Amen, brother.
Thank you. Bill, thank you. And for anyone listening, if you don't do this, you don't put photos in your briefs, not as appendices, not as exhibits, but in the briefs, listen to the Bailey brothers. It's powerful. You do it in the right way, and it will help you win. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Let's now take a deep breath together. And as we do so, just be aware, be grateful to be alive today, this Monday. May the work that we do today help reduce suffering in the world. May our efforts and the time we spend today help repair the world. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate for our clients and champion their stories. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just remind you, it's Monday. Wake up, go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.